Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a topic that's absolutely critical for anyone looking to achieve big things in life: how to develop a ruthless work ethic. This isn't about just working harder or burning yourself out. It's about cultivating a mindset and a set of habits that make you relentless, focused, and unstoppable in pursuit of your goals. Over the next hour or so, we're going to unpack what a ruthless work ethic really means, why it's so powerful, and how you can build it step by step. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap to transform the way you approach your work and your life. So grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's get started. First, let's define what we mean by a ruthless work ethic. It's not about being cruel or heartless, despite the word ruthless. It's about being uncompromising in your commitment to your goals. It means showing up every single day, no matter how you feel, and putting in the work that moves you closer to your vision. It's about cutting through distractions, excuses, and procrastination with surgical precision. A ruthless work ethic is what separates people who dream about success from those who actually achieve it. Think about the most accomplished people in history, whether it's an athlete like Michael Jordan, an entrepreneur like Elon Musk, or an artist like Beyoncé. What they all have in common is an unrelenting drive to keep pushing forward, even when the odds are stacked against them. Why does this matter? Because the world is full of noise. There are endless distractions: social media, Netflix, even well-meaning friends and family who might not understand your grind. A ruthless work ethic is your shield against all of that. It's what allows you to stay focused when everyone else is scrolling through their phones or taking the easy road. More importantly, it's what builds your confidence and self-respect. When you know you've put in the work, you carry yourself differently. You start to trust yourself because you've proven time and time again that you can do hard things. That's the kind of mental strength that carries over into every area of your life. Now let's get one thing straight. Developing a ruthless work ethic isn't about being perfect. It's not about never failing or never having an off day. It's about consistency over time. It's about choosing progress over perfection and showing up even when you don't feel like it. The good news? This is something anyone can build. You don't need to be born with some special talent or superhuman discipline. A ruthless work ethic is a skill, and like any skill, it can be learned and strengthened with practice. The key is to approach it systematically, with intention and a willingness to push past your comfort zone. So how do you actually build this kind of work ethic? Let's start with the foundation: clarity. You can't be ruthless about something vague. If you don't know what you're working toward, your efforts will be scattered, and you'll burn out quickly. Take some time to get crystal clear on your goals. Ask yourself, what do I want to achieve in the next year? 5 years, 10 years? Be specific. Maybe you want to start a business, write a book, get in the best shape of your life, or climb the corporate ladder. Whatever it is, write it down. The act of putting your goals on paper makes them real and gives you something tangible to focus on. Once you have clarity, break those big goals into smaller, actionable steps. This is where a lot of people get stuck. They have a huge dream, but it feels so far away that they don't know where to start. The trick is to reverse engineer your goal. Let's say you want to write a book. That's a massive undertaking. But if you break it down, it becomes manageable. Maybe you commit to writing 500 words a day, 5 days a week. That's a concrete step you can take right now. By focusing on the small actions that add up over time, you make the process less overwhelming and more achievable. Now, clarity is just the starting point. The next piece of the puzzle is commitment. A ruthless work ethic requires you to decide once and for all that you're all in. This sounds simple, but it's where most people falter. They say they want something, but when it gets hard, they waver. Commitment means making a non-negotiable pact with yourself. It's like signing a contract in your mind. No matter what happens, you're going to show up and do the work. This might mean waking up an hour earlier, saying no to social events, or sacrificing some short-term pleasures for long-term gains. It's not always fun, but it's always worth it. One way to solidify your commitment is to create what I call a why anchor. Your why anchor is the deeper reason behind your goal. It's the emotional fuel that keeps you going when things get tough. For example, maybe you're working hard to build a business because you want to give your family a better life. Or maybe you're training for a marathon because you want to prove to yourself that you can overcome your limitations. Whatever it is, your why anchor needs to be strong enough to pull you through the moments when you feel like quitting. Write it down, revisit it often, and let it remind you why you started in the first place. With clarity and commitment in place, the next step is to master your environment. Your surroundings have a huge impact on your ability to stay focused and productive. If your workspace is cluttered, your phone is buzzing with notifications, or you're surrounded by people who don't support your goals, it's going to be a constant uphill battle. Take control of your environment by setting yourself up for success. This might mean creating a dedicated workspace where you only do focused work. It could mean turning off notifications on your phone or using apps to block distracting websites. Small changes like these can make a massive difference in your ability to stay on track. Another part of mastering your environment is surrounding yourself with the right people. You've probably heard the saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. There's a lot of truth to that. If you're constantly around people who are lazy, negative, or unmotivated, it's going to rub off on you. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with driven, ambitious people, their energy will inspire you to level up. Seek out mentors, join communities of like-minded individuals, or even consume content from people who embody the work ethic you're trying to develop. Their influence will help you stay accountable and motivated. Now, let's talk about the daily grind. A ruthless work ethic is built through consistent, deliberate action. This is where habits come into play. Habits are the building blocks of success because they take the guesswork out of getting things done. When something becomes a habit, you don't have to rely on willpower or motivation. You just do it. The key is to start small. If you try to overhaul your entire routine overnight, you'll likely overwhelm yourself and give up. Instead, focus on 1 or 2 keystone habits that will have a ripple effect on the rest of your life. For example, let's say you want to build a habit of working on your side hustle every day. Start by committing to just 15 minutes a day, that's it. Anyone can find 15 minutes, no matter how busy they are. The goal isn't to accomplish everything in those 15 minutes. It's to build the habit of showing up. Over time, you can gradually increase the time you spend or add new habits to your routine. The beauty of starting small is that it builds momentum. Each time you follow through, you're proving to yourself that you're capable of sticking to your commitments, and that confidence snowballs. One of the biggest obstacles to building habits is dealing with resistance. Resistance is that voice in your head that says, "I'll do it tomorrow," or "I'm too tired right now." It's the feeling of dread you get when you think about tackling a big task. Everyone experiences resistance, even the most disciplined people. The difference is that people with a ruthless work ethic don't let resistance stop them. They acknowledge it, but they don't let it dictate their actions. One way to overcome resistance is to use the 2-minute rule. If you're struggling to get started, tell yourself you'll just work on the task for 2 minutes. More often than not, once you start, you'll keep going. Another strategy for beating resistance is to focus on the process, not the outcome. When you're fixated on the end result, like finishing a project or hitting a certain milestone, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. Instead, shift your attention to the act of doing the work. Celebrate the fact that you showed up and put in the effort, even if the results aren't immediate. This mindset takes the pressure off and helps you stay consistent, which is the real secret to long-term success. Let's talk about time management, because a ruthless work ethic requires you to be intentional about how you spend your hours. Time is your most valuable resource, and once it's gone, you can't get it back. Start by auditing your time. For 1 week, track everything you do: work, sleep, social media, TV, errands, everything. Be honest with yourself. You might be surprised to see how much time you're wasting on things that don't align with your goals. Once you have a clear picture, look for opportunities to eliminate, delegate, or streamline tasks that aren't serving you. One of the most effective time management techniques is time blocking. This is where you assign specific blocks of time to specific tasks. For example, you might block off 9 to 11 a.m. for deep work on your most important project, 11 to 11:30 for emails, and so on. The key is to treat these blocks like appointments, non-negotiable commitments to yourself. Time blocking helps you stay focused and ensures that your most important tasks get the attention they deserve. It also prevents you from falling into the trap of multitasking, which is a productivity killer. Speaking of productivity, let's address the myth of hustling 24/7. A ruthless work ethic doesn't mean working yourself into the ground. In fact, rest and recovery are critical for sustaining high performance over the long term. If you're constantly pushing without giving yourself time to recharge, you'll burn out and your work will suffer. The key is to work hard when you're working, but also prioritize sleep, exercise, and downtime. Think of yourself like an athlete. You need to train intensely, but you also need to recover so you can come back stronger. One way to incorporate rest without losing momentum is to use the concept of sprints and breaks. This is similar to the Pomodoro technique, where you work in focused bursts, say 25 minutes, followed by a short break. You can scale this up for bigger projects. For example, you might work intensely for a week, then take a lighter day to recharge. The goal is to find a rhythm that allows you to push hard while still taking care of your physical and mental health. A ruthless work ethic is about longevity, not just short-term intensity. Now let's talk about mindset, because a ruthless work ethic is as much about how you think as it is about what you do. One of the most important mindset shifts is embracing discomfort. Growth happens outside your comfort zone, and a ruthless work ethic requires you to lean into challenges instead of avoiding them. This might mean tackling tasks that scare you, having difficult conversations, or pushing through when you feel stuck. Discomfort is a sign that you're stretching yourself, and the more you embrace it, the more resilient you become. Another key mindset is adopting a growth mindset. This is the belief that your abilities and intelligence can improve with effort and learning. People with a growth mindset see setbacks as opportunities to grow, not as proof of failure. When you encounter obstacles, instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough," ask yourself, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in perspective makes you more adaptable and less likely to give up when things get tough. It's a cornerstone of a ruthless work ethic because it keeps you moving forward, no matter what. Let's not ignore the role of self-discipline. Discipline is what carries you through when motivation fades, and trust me, motivation will fade. Motivation is like a spark. It can get you started, but discipline is the fuel that keeps you going. Building discipline is like building a muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it. Start by setting small, achievable goals and holding yourself accountable. For example, if you say you're going to work out for 20 minutes, do it, even if you don't feel like it. Each time you follow through, you're training your brain to prioritize commitment over feelings. Accountability is another powerful tool for building discipline. Tell someone you trust about your goals and ask them to check in with you. Better yet, find an accountability partner who's working towards similar goals. You can motivate each other, share strategies, and celebrate wins together. If you don't have someone in your life who can fill this role, consider joining an online community or even hiring a coach. The point is to create external pressure that reinforces your internal commitment. One thing that often derails people is perfectionism. If you're waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect plan, you'll never get started. A ruthless work ethic is about taking imperfect action. Done is better than perfect. This doesn't mean you should settle for mediocre work, but it does mean you need to prioritize progress over perfection. Get your ideas out there, launch the project, share the draft. You can always refine and improve as you go. The important thing is to keep moving forward. Let's talk about failure because it's inevitable. No matter how hard you work, you're going to hit roadblocks, make mistakes, and fall short sometimes. A ruthless work ethic doesn't mean you never fail. It means you don't let failure define you. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, analyze it, learn from it, and move on. Treat failure like a teacher, not a punishment. The faster you can bounce back, the stronger your work ethic becomes. This resilience is what allows you to keep pushing, even when the path gets rocky. Another important aspect is staying adaptable. The world is constantly changing, and a ruthless work ethic requires you to evolve with it. Maybe your original plan isn't working, or maybe your goals shift over time. That's okay. Be willing to pivot, learn new skills, or try a different approach. The key is to stay committed to your overarching vision, even if the details change. Adaptability keeps you relevant and ensures that your hard work continues to pay off. Let's touch on the importance of tracking your progress. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind and lose sight of how far you've come. Regularly review your goals and celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Did you stick to your habit for a week? That's a win. Did you finish a project you've been procrastinating on? That's a win. Celebrating these milestones reinforces your work ethic and keeps you motivated. At the same time, use tracking to identify areas where you can improve. Maybe you're spending too much time on low-priority tasks or not giving yourself enough rest. Adjust as needed to stay on course. One often overlooked aspect of a ruthless work ethic is saying no. You can't do everything, and trying to please everyone will dilute your focus. Learn to prioritize your time and energy by saying no to things that don't align with your goals. This might mean turning down invitations, declining projects, or setting boundaries with people who drain you. It's not about being rude, it's about protecting your ability to do your best work. The more you practice saying no, the easier it becomes, and the more respect you'll earn from others. Let's talk about visualization, because it's a powerful tool for staying focused. Take a few minutes each day to visualize yourself achieving your goals. Picture what success looks like in vivid detail, how it feels, what you're doing, who's around you. This exercise does two things. It keeps your motivation high, and it trains your brain to recognize opportunities that align with your vision. Visualization isn't a substitute for hard work, but it's a way to keep your eyes on the prize and reinforce your commitment. Another strategy is to gamify your work. Humans are wired to respond to rewards, so find ways to make your grind more engaging. For example, you could set a challenge to complete a certain number of tasks by the end of the week and reward yourself with something small, like a coffee or a movie night. Or you could track your streaks, how many days in a row you've stuck to your habit, and aim to keep the streak alive. These little games add an element of fun and make it easier to stay consistent. Let's not forget the role of gratitude. It might sound unrelated, but practicing gratitude can supercharge your work ethic. When you're grateful for the opportunities you have, you're more likely to approach your work with enthusiasm and purpose. Take a moment each day to reflect on what you're thankful for. Maybe it's your health, your support system, or the chance to pursue your dreams. Gratitude shifts your perspective from, "I have to do this," to, "I get to do this," which makes all the difference. As you build your ruthless work ethic, you'll start to notice changes in how you see yourself. You'll feel more confident, more capable, and more in control of your life. This is because a strong work ethic isn't just about getting things done. It's about becoming the kind of person who can handle whatever life throws at them. You're training yourself to be resilient, focused, and proactive. And those qualities will serve you in every area of your life, from your career to your relationships to your personal growth. One final thought, a ruthless work ethic is a lifelong journey. There's no finish line where you can say, "Okay, I'm done working hard." But that's what makes it so rewarding. Each day is an opportunity to push yourself, to learn, and to get closer to the person you want to be. Embrace the process, stay patient, and trust that your efforts will compound over time. The results might not come overnight, but they will come. And when they do, you'll know you earned them. All right, that's it for today's video. I hope you're feeling inspired and ready to take action. If you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up. Share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more content like this. Let me know in the comments what your biggest takeaway was, or what strategies you're going to try to build your own ruthless work ethic. I read every comment, and I love hearing from you. Until next time, stay focused, keep grinding, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.